Okay, Emerson said that the ancestor to every action is a thought. It's always a thought. Everything begins with a thought. And I try to convey this to my students all the time. I want them to be aware of what they're thinking. And at the beginning it's hard because their mind is all over the place. To be aware of what you're thinking, you have to be present. You're not your thoughts. You're the one observing your thoughts. In this video, there's 3 things I want you to consider. The first 2 are obvious. The ball responds to only the club face at impact. It doesn't care how you swing. It only responds to the club face at impact. The second is the only purpose of the golf swing is to deliver the club face correctly to the ball at impact. Now, the third thing is not so obvious to students. How you swing is determined by what you're thinking prior to the swing and during the swing. Your body always responds to your thoughts. Now, if you reverse the process, you will say, well, what I'm thinking determines how I swing. How I swing determines how the club face will be presented to the ball, and how the ball is going to respond to the club face, and that's going to determine how the ball goes. It all goes back to my thoughts. You know, I have a putting launch monitor in my studio at Goose Creek, and it's very accurate. It can sense how your putter, the path of your putter, the speed of the putter, the rotation of the putter face, where the putter face is aiming, if you're lifting or descending, making a descending blow. I'll take a student to my studio. I also have a flat 6-foot putt, and it's a standard hole size. It's more than 2.5 times the size of the ball. This is a standard golf hole, and they practice this 6-foot putt, and pretty soon they're making every one because it's flat. So I'll say, okay, we're going to do a little experiment here. We're going to hit 3 putts, and I'll put the sensors on their club face so I can monitor my launch monitor can monitor their activity, how they deliver the club face to the ball. I'll say the first putt I want you to think about, just think about keeping your head still. Make your normal good putting stroke, your normal stroke that you always do, but just think about keeping your head still. And they do, and they make it. On the next putt, I want you to make your same stroke, but I want you to think about the back of the left hand just moving towards the target as it does. You're just going to think about that. Just make your normal stroke. And they do, and they make the putt again. And on the third putt, I'll say, okay, do the same thing, but this time I want to think about the right hand. Just think of the right hand going towards the hole like it does. Just think about that, make your normal stroke, and they do, and it goes in. And they think they made 3 perfect strokes. And what they did was they made 3 good enough strokes to get the ball in the hole because, again, the hole is 2.5 times the size of the ball. You don't need perfect. So if we go to my launch monitor and we look at the data, we find that they delivered the club face to the ball in 3 very different ways. It wasn't consistent at all. The fact is their body was responding to their thoughts and directing the club a little bit differently. Your body, you're not a mechanical swing machine. Over and over I tell people that. You're a human swing machine, and your body's responding to your thoughts at all time. If we're on the practice tee with a student, and the student swings and they lift up and they top the ball, they'll say, Phil, you know, I lifted up. You know, I lifted my head. That's why I topped it. Well, I'll say that's true. You did lift up. But when you're eating, do you sometimes just lift up when you're eating? No, because your body doesn't just move on its own. The fact you lifted up was an effect. It wasn't the cause. You lifted it up because of a thought you had. And I'll have to ask them, what were you thinking? Now, if it's a new student, they don't really know because they haven't learned yet to be aware of their thoughts. But as I get to work with them, they start being aware of what they're thinking. They would say, yeah, you know, I was thinking hit it hard, and I just lift it up. Or I was thinking don't hit it fat, and I lift it up. You always need to be aware of your thoughts. You need to view every result through the lens of thought.